A week without hockey? But it's always time to go wild on a Monday. Evening one and all, back again. There mightn't have been a Widnes game this weekend, but time to go wild here, bringing you all the news of around the events of what's been going on. Don't forget you can keep in touch with the show. widneswild.co.uk for all stuff about the club. Facebook.com/TTGW Radio and Twitter.com/TTGW Radio are your social media links. We have the phone 01928835291 and email radio@widneswild.co.uk. If you have questions for our guests, drop them in there. Oh, hiya, Doug.
Hi, mate. How are you?
Catching up from the weekend. It's been a bit strange one, not having a home game.
Yeah, there's been plenty to look at, isn't there?
There has. And unfortunately, I've got one thing I think we need to cover right at the top of the show, which is some unfortunate, sad news of a figure of British hockey who passed away at the weekend. For the people of the Hull hockey fraternity will know Richard Ricky Barker very well. And he sadly passed away at the weekend. And on the Hull Pirates Twitter feed, they actually posted a passage that I can't really make any better than it's written. So it's got some personal prose in it, but I will read it as is because it basically sums up Ricky to a T. So this is what it says. Mr. Hockey. The hockey world is poorer place today after the sudden passing of Richard Ricky Barker, a true gentleman who lived and breathed hockey, not just in Hull but across the world. People talk about legends with no real context, but Ricky was a true legend. He ran penalty boxes in rinks all across Britain and did them with a unique style and immense professionalism. When you talk about appearances, points, goals, penalty minutes and assists, it all pales into insignificance when stood against Ricky and his dedication to the game. Imagine your own club and how many games each team has. Now think about every club within your building and how many games they all have together. Throw in the tournaments as well, and then think about the conference weekend and the rec tournaments. Now imagine attending every single one, regardless of the time of day. It seems a heck of a lot of games, doesn't it? Can you imagine attending all of them? Can you imagine being the first in the building and the last to leave? That's what Ricky did. That is what Ricky meant to hockey, and that's what hockey meant to Ricky. He ran the off-ice officiating at all levels in the game, from under-9s through all of the junior levels, university, rec, women's, para, semi-pro, pro and international, and he did it for years. He meant more than is imaginable to everyone concerned with British ice hockey, not just players but parents, officials, rink staff, fans and anyone else he came into contact with. He truly was a larger-than-life character who everyone looked up to and respected. Ricky was never backwards in coming forwards, and you always knew where you stood with him. He also had the kindest heart of anyone you are likely to meet across the hockey world. He was a friend, a surrogate father, a shoulder to cry on and laugh on, a disciplinarian, and everything in between to so many people over the years. On a personal level, he has brightened my day every single time I have seen him. He was just the nicest, funniest, bluntest person. I will miss him every day and cannot imagine a penalty box without Ricky in it. The title of this piece is Mr. Hockey, which is exactly how everyone involved in the game around Hull will think of him. He was much more than that. He was a son, a father, a partner, a friend, a businessman, a cat lover, and a fantastic human who would do all he could to help anyone. This has been the most difficult piece to write for so many reasons. It feels so surreal and impossible that he isn't in our lives anymore. We will miss him more than words can say. Mention the name Ricky Barker to anyone involved in British ice hockey over the years, and I can guarantee that they will raise a smile on their face of the person you are speaking to. This is the measure of the man. He was loved by so many people, and he will be missed by many, many more. Today, Hull Arena will feel a lot emptier without Ricky Barker in it. On a personal measure, I've known Ricky for a number of years as well, and he just got stuff done. And as that piece says, larger than life, and everyone in the hockey fraternity, and from myself and everyone at the Wild and Time to Go Wild Radio, we will miss Ricky Barker. So, after that, we shall be moving forward, I think. So, Doug.
Yes.
We should do a quick intro to our guests before we get on with the roundup of the results.
We will, yes. So tonight we have with us a father and daughter, and Katie Fairclough is the newest member and youngest member of the Widnes Wild women's team. She is only 15, am I correct?
Yeah.
And she's been given special dispensation to play at the higher level, and along with Katie is her father Stephen. Good evening, Stephen.
Hi.
So we'll be catching up with the pair of them in a little while, but in the meantime, I think it's time I did this. It's time for the roundup of the scores from across the hockey leagues for the last week. Starting with the Elite Ice Hockey League from Tuesday. Sheffield Steelers 8, Dundee Stars 2. Moving to Saturday, Manchester Storm 6, Guildford Flames 5 after overtime. Nottingham Panthers 3, Braehead Clan 5. Belfast Giants 3, Sheffield Steelers 1. Fife Flyers 2, Coventry Blaze 0. Moving to Sunday, Sheffield Steelers 0, Belfast Giants 2. Cardiff Devils 1, Manchester Storm 6. Guildford Flames 3, Nottingham Panthers, it says 3, I must have that one, I'll do an amendment in a little while. Edinburgh Capitals 1, Braehead Clan 3. Moving on to the Elite Ice Hockey League Challenge Cup from Saturday, Milton Keynes Lightning 5, Cardiff Devils 2. Dundee Stars 4, Edinburgh Capitals 3 after a shootout. And on Sunday, in the Elite Ice Hockey League Challenge Cup, Coventry Blaze 3, Milton Keynes Lightning 6. Moving into the NIHL Division 1 North Morley for Saturday, Telford Tigers D1 5, Solway Sharks 3. Blackburn Hawks D1 16, Dragons D1 4. Sheffield Steel Dogs 7, Billingham Stars 3. On Sunday, Whitley Warriors 4, Nottingham Lions 1, Dragons D1 3, Hull Pirates 9. And now, NIHL Division 2 North Laidler from Saturday, Bradford Bulldogs 6, Sheffield Senators 5, Dragons D2 3, Sutton Sting 12. Altrincham Aces from Sunday, this is Altrincham Aces 3, Coventry Blaze NIHL 2. And finally, for Ricky as well, this one, Hull Jets 13, Blackburn Hawks D2 2. And that's the roundup of the scores from across the last week, when I'll find out that Guildford Flames Nottingham Panthers result in just a couple of minutes. Now that's out of the way, we can get on with interrogating our guests, I think.
It was an interesting result, wasn't there? The Bradford Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was.
Holding the Senators. It just shows how far they've come.
It does. If you hear me disappearing, I'm just trying to find this missing result, so just bear with me, everybody.
Well, when we played the Bradford Bulldogs, they were a lot better team than they were last year.
Oh, they've improved immensely, that team. And Coventry. Both teams have improved year on year.
Yeah, the Coventry result against Altrincham away was a good result for them as well, really. They pushed us the first period of our game that we had with them,
Right, I've got the amendment here. It was Nottingham Panthers 3, Guildford Flames 2. So Guildford Flames 2, Nottingham Panthers 3 after a shootout. So there you go, Panthers won that in a shootout. So, now that's out of the way. Slide back across. Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting results in the league this year so far. I mean, Hull Pirates had a bit of a stuttery start and now started to seem to find their feet. Telford Tigers actually beat Solway's unbeaten run this weekend. So the tables have took a little bit of a turn in the D1 league. Well, I mean, some of the it's sort of starting to sort of fit together. You've got Blackburn and Telford and Steel Dogs at the top, with Nottingham, Solihull and the Dragons at the bottom. Hull at the moment are mid-table with Whitley and Billingham, but you know, it's sort of starting to pan out. The only sad one really, which is a big shame, is the fact that the Dragons have shipped over twice as many goals as anybody else in the league, but the scoring is very much even across all of the teams.
Yeah.
So it just shows how important good defence and net minding can be to keeping you going.
I mean, this week, technically, we shouldn't still have been top.
That's true.
Because Senators played 5 games, so they could have got 8 or 9.
They could have done.
So it pans out that we had a week off, and we're still top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, the D2 league currently has the Dragons D2 propping up the bottom of the league, with the Blackburn Hawks D2, and then Bradford Bulldogs, the Telford Tigers, Coventry and Hull in the middle of the table, with, as you come up, Sutton in 4th, which isn't a surprise because they're actually a very good team. They've got a lot of good players. And a lot of their youngsters are really, really good. Plenty. I mean, it was shown last week in Hull. in Widnes, I should say. Their passing was really, really good.
Well, I think they had a kind of different team out on when they played D-side as well. There was a lot of youngsters in it.
Yeah.
So that shows their strength and depth.
Yeah. And then at the top, we've got I think this is going to be the fight out for the season between Altrincham, the Sheffield Senators, and our own RTL Widnes Wild. I mean, it's going to be gritty. I mean, at the moment, the Wild are 4 games, 4 wins.
Yep, 8 points.
So, yes.
And we've got two games coming up this week. Which will be quite interesting.
Yes, one in particular is going to be very, very interesting.
We'll come to that one when we come up with the up-and-coming fixtures.
Yes.
Should we get back to our guests?
We should do. So, come on, Doug. Let's get the ball rolling.
Okay, Katie, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm 15 and I go to Rainford High School, and I'm in year 11, so I'm currently doing my GCSEs this year. I started playing ice hockey in 2015, so I started training at Widnes but with the women's basics, and then I started doing junior training, and then in 2017 in around January I was asked to go train with the senior women, and it just escalated.
So have you done any roller hockey as well?
Yeah, I started playing roller hockey in about 2014.
Yeah.
So quite a while ago now. And then I started playing for Glossopdale Devils at under 12s and under 14s, and I played a year in the Bipper League with them, and halfway through a year I was asked to play for under 16s as well.
Right.
And then last season I played 14s and 16s for the same teams and in the Elite Women's League.
That's quite an impressive resume already.
It is, yeah. I mean, it must have been keeping you seriously fit. I mean,
very.
So how do you find you've made the switch from roller hockey to ice?
It's alright, it's a lot of the technique for the shooting and the passing and stuff's very similar. It's more the skating that's different.
Yeah.
And the pucks are heavier, a lot heavier.
Yeah.
So that's quite hard to get used to. But apart from that, it's very similar. So they complement each other quite well.
So have you managed? I mean, we've had players who come to the Wild who come from roller hockey, and one of the things they find difficult is stopping.
Yeah. It took me about 6 months to get learning how to stop, so that took a while. That was the main issue.
Yeah.
It's quite different on the inlines than it is on the ice skates.
And which position do you play?
I play defence, so lefty.
Lefty,
With roller, I mean, what made you start playing the roller?
We went skating at the rink from about 2012 to when I was 10, and a friend at the rink just said, called Vicky, who had a daughter who played hockey, said, why don't you try hockey, it'll improve your skating. So we started doing hockey and then just increased the training. And just went from there. Then got told to play for teams and stuff.
Oh, that's good. So, in terms of games, I mean, what's the sort of, how do you see the style of play different when you're going to be playing on the ice to playing in roller?
I think ice got a lot more space because the rink's a lot bigger, so like time to think about things, and you've also got that extra player. But yeah, it's harder because you've got so much extra skating because it's so big. So it's stamina really that's the difference.
So, in terms of equipment, is it any different?
It's pretty much all the same apart from the skates, and at inline we don't wear the big shoulder pads. We've got like little padded ones, and the shorts we've got little padded versions instead. So apart from that, it's pretty much the same. All the helmet, stick, gloves and everything's the same.
Well, these are maybe some of the costs are transferable, which is good. I mean, bringing your dad in, I mean, that must be one of the big concerns with all this kind of sport, isn't it?
It is quite expensive, but at the end of the day she loves doing it, so I don't mind. And like she says, a lot of the kit is transferable, so it's not that she's got two sets for doing it, so that does ease it a bit.
And for other kids coming through the system, have you found that you've been managing to obtain kit from second-hand places, and you've seen that kind of thing going around?
I've tended to go for new stuff, but what we did when she first started, just in case she didn't like it, we tended to go for the cheaper versions of stuff, because you can do it at an affordable level. But then once she started playing more seriously, and one thing she missed out there was in 2016 she went out to Italy to represent the GB for the junior women. So when she got to that level, having decent kit was very important, because you protection and make sure that
definitely
I was beginning to wonder whether I'd misread the biography there, because I've been doing a bit of research. And she hit the bit that was I would have thought we would have been pushing the most. I played for GB.
I think I put too much down.
Just trying to do a bit from each section.
GB must have been a good adventure for you then.
Yeah, it was really good. We went to Italy, so that was quite fun, just going out with everyone, and then the hockey on top was quite good because it was a really good learning experience.
Whereabouts in Italy were you?
Roana and Asiago. It's about an hour away from Venice.
Oh, very nice.
It's very scenic.
Oh, must have been. Did you get some sightseeing in as well?
Yeah.
So how long were you out there for?
We were out there for a week. It's a full tournament.
Wow. So, which other countries were you playing in the tournament?
We played Spain, Chinese Taipei, Mexico, Canada, Finland, and
France.
France.
No,
and Italy.
Oh. So afterwards you're managing to meet up and sort of get to know some of the players from the other teams as well.
Yeah, we made nice friends with the Spanish team because they give us a flag to wave in the final game. So we egged them on and stuff. And we traded jerseys with the Chinese Taipei. They were quite nice, and they did a cool down with us after our last game.
That's I mean, so anyone out there thinking of taking up the sport, well, there you go. You can see the world as well. Mind you, we've had a couple of internationals on here as well, haven't we?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
We've had Belgium international, England, a couple of England internationals, haven't we?
In fact, actually, this is our fourth female member of the hockey fraternity, and all four have had international experience.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
It could be very interesting if they all get called up at the same time.
Well, actually, just had a message.
The team will be decimated.
Just had a message on the phone, actually, saying from one of our listeners saying, "Oh, it's great hearing a nice young player on the show, helping to bring the sport through." So that's helping to help the profile as well. I mean.
So there's a question for Stephen. As a father, how do you cope with all the early mornings, all the late evenings?
It's a challenge. Sometimes I do feel like a personal assistant. But no, I mean, my employer's dead good, so they're dead flexible with work hours and stuff. So late night training in the week and stuff, I can manage to get back and take her to that. And my wife helps out at weekends, taking you to some of the tournaments and stuff, doesn't she? So it's a family.
Yeah, I think as a family it probably brings you closer together because you're in each other's pockets more than perhaps.
I mean, it kind of started because the skating we did do started off as a family thing, because she's got a younger sister who's an excellent skater as well, both roller skating and ice skating. So it is a family thing, isn't it? 'Cause I can skate as well.
So has her sister got any ambitions to emulate her older sister?
No, she did try the hockey for 6 months, but she prefers the old style of roller skates, which we refer to as quads rather than the inline ones. So you can't actually do the hockey on those style ones.
You can't really turn, can you?
I've done. Many years ago at the roller rink in Warrington, I went and they had quad skates there, but I've never tried inlines. So I've done I can just about skate on ice and just about go around on a pair of quads eventually, but never tried inline. I mean, is there any much difference you'd see with the the three different types of skating?
Between the inlines and the quads, there's a bit difference because inlines are a lot faster, but it's a lot harder to balance on them. But you can do tighter corners and stuff. But on the quads, it's easier to do because you've got a bigger wheelbase, so you've got that stability as you turn. And you can do more tricks on the quads.
It's a bit like the comparison between a car and a bike. On the inlines, you tilt to go around a corner, whereas a car, you get a different kind of corner.
Yeah, sort of steering, isn't it? More with the quads, isn't it? Yeah. So little bits of insight for people who want to do a bit more skating of different types. And,
so have you got any inspirational players?
Evgeny Malkin, maybe from Pittsburgh.
Ooh, yeah, quality player.
Yeah, because he's not like you see a lot of Sidney Crosby and everyone goes, oh yeah, I love Sidney Crosby, but he's not quite as publicised, but he's really good.
And in fact, I remember a couple of years ago now when Sidney Crosby was out injured, and all of a sudden Evgeny Malkin was popping goals in sweets. It was like, yeah, this guy's good. So
do you follow any particular NHL team?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
No Tourette's tonight.
Penguins fan.
Yeah.
Go Pens. That's all right. That's one of my teams. That's okay.
Yes, one of the teams, if you mention it, Colin, does have a slight meltdown.
No, it's not a meltdown. I just have a slight Tourette's with being a Canucks fan. Any Canucks fan will understand what it is, and they know about it. There's a couple of Canucks fans out there who know exactly what happens when one team's mentioned. But
so with this is going to lead into the next one quite nicely. What are your musical tastes?
I like a lot of stuff in the charts, really, mostly. Probably about it.
So I think we should have the first song.
I think we should. So, do you want to tell us what it is?
Yes, Demi Lovato, Cool for the Summer.
Time to look up at the What's On Guide for things that are happening around and about. And of course we have our usual reminders. Don't forget to check out widneswild.co.uk for our community section for Puckers Pals, and our fan zone sections, of course, for your highlights, podcast, season tickets and supporters club info. And we still have a few own and loan shirts available. There's 3 away shirts, 5 warm-up. We got Dan Brake, Skirtle away and warm-up, Lee Kemp warm-up, Mikey Gilbert away, Nick Manning warm-up, Phil Crosby warm-up, Matty Crawls warm-up, and Tom Jackson's away shirt. Don't forget, get your names down while they're still available. £75 for a game shirt, £60 for a warm-up shirt. And finally, we've got our coach travel departing at 2:30 on Saturday the 30th for Sheffield. Supporters Club members £4, non-supporters club members £7, and with a paying adult, kids, it's £1. Check out facebook.com/WidnesWild1 for all of your details. Okay, Doug, what else is going on?
Well, this week is a double header for us. On Saturday we're away to the Sheffield Senators, and on Sunday the RTL Widnes Wild at home to the Blackburn Hawks. On Sunday the 8th of October, the RTL Widnes Wild are again at home to the Halton Races. On Sunday the 15th of October, the Widnes Wild women have the first game against the Nottingham Vipers. And then on Sunday the 22nd of October, the RTL Widnes Wild host the Sheffield Senators at home. All RTL Widnes Wild home games are on Sunday and face off at 5:30.
We say each week, if you've got any dedications to send in, let us know. radio@widneswild.co.uk. And we have a birthday to say to young Grace Tyner. She's 9 on Friday, so happy birthday for Friday to young Grace. I hope she has a fantastic time, and I think she's going on the road trip to Sheffield, so a birthday weekend road trip for her. Have fun. So
we do have one thank you from last night.
Oh yes,
we hosted the RTL quiz night, which was very well attended considering there was ice hockey all over the northwest. On a rainy evening, we managed to fundraise and we got £70 towards the Players Fund.
Wow.
So many thanks to everyone who came. They said they all enjoyed it and they want to do some more.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's unfortunate for me.
Well, you have to get your thinking cap on a bit.
I've got more questions to come up with, yes.
Well, you know what you want for Christmas then?
Possibly.
Yes, the world's biggest quiz book.
I'll just have to borrow our friends from the next studio.
That's true, yeah.
He's got loads of questions.
Chris has got some interesting quiz questions each week. Well, you've just let us know a bit about your music choices. What other music song and stuff do you like?
It's mostly just stuff in the charts, like a lot of the Spanish stuff at the moment. That's quite good, like Despacito and stuff like that. But that's about it.
So, in terms of movies, any particular types or favourite movies?
I really like Harry Potter, definitely my favourite, and a bit of Star Wars and sort of the Marvel sort of ones, like the Avengers and stuff, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, alright, we'll ask us now then. I mean, you can always change it in a few years' time, and it's for both of you this. We'll get this one in now when we've had we've had this one.
Not the movie question.
The movie question. So, Hollywood are making your life story, and you've got to pick 2 actors. Both of you each get to pick 2 actors now. One's to depict you and one's to depict another person, important person, and the same for yourself. Who are you going to pick?
Definitely Chris Pratt as Coach.
Oh, Chris Pratt. And for yourself, who's playing you?
I don't know, maybe Scarlett Johansson's quite good in the Avengers. I like her.
Oh, there you go. Come on then.
Don't know who's the guy who plays Captain Kirk in Star Trek. Chris.
Is that
Chris?
Yes, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
He was
Chris
in
Pine, is that?
Chris Pine. Yes, Chris Pine.
That chappy.
For yourself and your leading lady.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, Sandra Bullock.
Another one for Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah, getting quite a few for Sandra Bullock.
We're starting with the same.
So, in terms of the game and coming, have you been coming to many Widnes Wild games?
I've been to like 1 or 2. I've been mascotting some of them through the juniors.
Are you surprised by the amount of people that come to watch?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Like, they had cheerleaders there at one of the women's games once that I went to watch. So I was quite impressed by that. There's like people with air horns and there's lots of people with all the team shirts and stuff. So that was quite impressive. Yeah,
it does make a difference. I mean, we're hoping to have a good turnout. Of course, now we have the fixtures given out on the radio. We're hoping more people from around about are going to sort of take a dabble. I mean, the women's games, of course, are free to enter.
Yeah.
So not anymore.
No?
No, there's going to be a donation.
Ooh.
People are going to be asked to donate.
Ooh, well.
To attend.
It's a donation, but, it's come along and have a taster. That's the whole thing about it. If you're not sure about coming along to one of the bigger attended Wild Games, come down and see the women play. Come down and see the rec play.
The interesting thing this year is a lot of the women's games clash with away games for the Wild.
I think there's only one.
No, 3 or 4.
Is it 3? Oh, no, there's one that does clash.
But having said that, if you don't want to travel all the way to, say, Hull, or Sheffield or somewhere like that, then you can start your hockey fix by coming along and watching the women play.
Exactly, yes.
And scaring the opposition witless, which is great, because when they come out, they're like, you've got fans. And it's not your mums, your dads, and your aunties and your uncles, it's proper fans. And that does put teams off their stride for the first period, because they come out and they're like, what's going on? So have you ever played where you've got a fan base behind you?
Not really. It's mostly just parents and stuff. I think when we played in Italy, we did have like the GB men's team supporting some of our games because we were out at the same time as them. And we've had like, maybe other teams come down to watch the games and stuff. But apart from that, it's mostly just parents and siblings.
Yeah, because when we had Lean on, who's played for Belgium, I think she said that one of her memorable things was she'd 2,500 people cheering them on when they were at the one of the World Championships. So that will be something if you can see performing at that level with people's expectations being quite high as well.
Well, I'm just looking at the clock. We're going through time quite quickly this evening. We'll put another song on, and then we have another little bit of something to come from our Monday mantra. So this is your choice, I think, isn't it?
Is this Levels by Avicii?
Oh no, it's not, but it will be.
It's
Just
on
bear with me.
Go for the other one.
No. I can find it. It should be. We can go with another one. I've actually got. For some reason, Calvin Harris has come up. We'll go with one of the other ones. Let's go with. How about a bit of David Guetta?
Yeah.
If I put the right code number. Oh, crumbs. 3.
Yeah, well, this proves it's a live show, ladies and gentlemen.
It does.
Warts and all, and there we go.
I'm putting the wrong code number into the computer, everybody. There it is. That's the one we want. David Guetta.
Lovers on the Sun.
That's the one. It's time for Mike Now's Monday Mantra.
And Mike Moore says this weekend's games throughout the Labour League saw some surprise results, with Sheffield losing their game against Bradford and Altrincham having a close 3-2 win against Coventry. Both games reinforce the fact that we have to turn up and play hard week in, week out, as no team this year is a walkover. Sheffield will want to rectify last week's result by beating us this Saturday, so we have to turn up ready and be loud and proud. I hope to see lots of travelling wild ones in Sheffield this weekend for the big game.
That was Mike Ma's Monday Mantra. Tune in next week for more. Oh, I have to remember to turn that sound effect off if it worked.
It's a very Egyptian sort of.
I need to actually sit down and actually record a proper something for that. But yes, we want everyone there loud and proud. And if we're not there loud and proud in body, we can be there loud and proud in spirit for this weekend when they're in Sheffield on Saturday to play the Senators. Oh, crumbs.
What time is the face-off?
7:45, I think. I'll just check. Here we go. We have a quick check on the old Hindernet, and it is 7:15 in Sheffield. So it is a relatively late game. That.
Yeah, but it's a Saturday.
Yeah, but at least it's not as late as the late night ones you get in Nottingham.
No. and it is a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we got time to rest on the Sunday.
That's true. So have you had any on these trips that you've had? Have you had any funny tales that you could possibly divulge?
I think we were playing in Rotherham one time, and I was in defence for some reason because I usually play forwards. But I was skating backwards and was not looking where I was going, and ended up doing like a backflip over the goalie. So our goalie still stood up there like, what just happened? I was in the net.
Well, with that one, we'll go on to goal celebrations. Have you ever seen any silly goal celebrations, or do you have a silly goal celebration?
I'm usually just very surprised when I score a goal, so it's usually just random jumping about and a bit of fist bumping.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll get a good one soon.
I think our goal celebration, our best goal celebration, is Amanda's stalled goal celebration.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Amanda, but it
Amanda's.
was so
I'm going
epic.
to do it. No, I'm not. Yes, I might hurt myself.
It was have I really just started doing this goal celebration?
But yeah, goal celebrations at times. I mean, we've had Elvis do his salute,
Yes.
which is very nice,
And Bez.
Bez does his scoop.
Yes, from skating along.
So yeah, we're throwing the gauntlet out there to all of the players from all the teams. Come on, let's have some interesting goal celebrations. Not just bouncing off the plexi now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, not just tapping each other on the head saying well done.
So we've in terms of what are you sort of looking at in terms of this season bringing to you to bring to the Wild Women, and what are your sort of general expectations from the coming season?
Mostly just to have fun, but I think the team are aiming to win the league, but as a team. So I'm hoping to get a lot of experience out of it, because I'm playing defence, quite short on defence in comparison to forwards, so the ice time should be fairly decent, so I'm hoping for a lot of experience out of that.
Definitely get you practicing skating backwards.
Yeah. Looking where I'm going.
Oh no, it's one thing I've never mastered is skating backwards. Then again, if you're going on the public session, you don't really want to skate back.
No, because you end up hitting people.
Yes. So I mean, in terms of the teammates, who would you say you've probably done a few training sessions? Are there any particular people you say have a little character to them at the moment, or?
I think they've all got a lot of character, all of them. Probably hard to pick any of them out. Like, there's a lot of joking around, so there's certain people that do get a lot of jokes aimed at them and stuff. But everyone's got a very different, quite loud personality, some of them, and they're all very interesting.
From having, I mean, you've probably done some scrimmages and the likes and training. Are there any players on the current squad that you think, actually, I wouldn't really want to have to come up against them, be it as a forward or as a defence person?
Probably Katie Hills, because I played and she's trained me at inline, and I've played against and with her at inline, and she's very, very good. So I would not like to get on the wrong side of her either.
We've seen what happens when someone got on the wrong side of Katie at a game last year.
Eye to eye, toe to toe.
Eye to eye, toe to toe. I didn't like what you did to me and pushed her. And I did speak to Katie actually about it, and we had a good laugh about that incident. But yeah, it was it does make for, even at every level it can get quite fiery, but you know what to expect from the girls, which is good.
Yeah.
So are there any of the teams that you might have seen or heard anything about that you might be looking forward to playing against? I'm
definitely looking forward to our first game against Nottingham, because I think it's their captain. I used to play with her inline, so I'm excited about that, because she's a forward and I'm playing D at the moment, so it's a head-to-head
Bit of a
thing.
clash.
Hopefully you'll read a game to a T.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
Just go toe to toe and just make sure she doesn't try and turn.
Yeah.
If in doubt, I'll sweep the skates.
Yeah.
I'll take a tripping penalty.
Make
It's
sure the
all right.
ref doesn't see it.
Oh yeah, there's that one.
On the point of penalties, how many penalties have you taken in the match?
I think my most in a match has actually been 2 2-minute penalties.
All right.
I got one of them for high sticking, because some kid said to the ref that I high sticked him, so the ref didn't actually see it, and then I got another one for pushing over a 10-year-old. This is at under 14, so it was his decision to play, but the ref said I was being a bit rough with him.
High
sticking is quite interesting, because Elvis got done for high sticking the other day. Oh no, elbows.
Elbows, yeah.
But Elvis is 6'5", and the guy who was marking him is 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
So he was at his elbow height anyway, so he's going to get in his elbow.
I mean, we've got a couple of girls. I mean, there's a couple of girls that actually play up at rec in the contact leagues. I mean, would you consider going into the contact side of the sport?
Yeah, I've done a bit of contact at juniors before, but it's quite different because we're all quite small. But it does seem fun.
So you're not adverse to going in and having a good old shove in the boards and a bit of checking hockey?
Definitely not. Definitely do that all the time.
Well, she took a 2-minute penalty for knocking a 10-year-old.
I mean, the thing is, it is one of those games where there's the difference between contact and checking, and we know. Well, there's one of our former Riverside Raiders who had a tendency of forgetting that he was playing a non-checking game and kept getting them for body checks. So, it's one of those differences. I mean, how do you feel that's going to be helping improve your stick handling and skating? The fact it's a non-checking game.
I think I'm used to non-checking anyway, because inline's non-checking, but it's quite helpful because then you can do things. You're not like scared of someone smashing you to the boards if you go up the boards or anything. So it takes quite a bit of the fear away from getting injured. So it makes it easier to play.
So another question: what's the game you've been involved in with a high score?
Probably Glossop under 12s or under 14s. There's 2 teams, Mooseheads and Chaos, and we always end up like 22-0, 23-0 against them. So that was probably one of the highest. Yeah, they stopped the scoreboard at 10-0.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that doesn't beat the record because Andy Turner says he's got 144-1. So we're trying to beat the record of Andy Turner. So if any people know any scores higher than that, can they please get in touch?
Yeah, and definitely answers on an email to radio@widnesworld.co.uk, please. We are looking. I mean, as it is this year, we're looking at some of the games have been exceptionally high scoring in both the D1 and D2 leagues. Yeah, and it's never nice to be on the back end, but when it's sort of like a 13-13, it's a case of what happened to the goaltenders?
Yeah, well, they were pulled, weren't they? They had 6 on 6. They just didn't have goaltenders.
So, in terms of other things, in what other little bits of spare time you have when you're not involved, what sort of things do you get up to?
I used to play tennis before I started playing hockey, but I had to quit that because it's on the same day. But I did a bit of badminton and cricket like the last couple of years, so I was like the Key Stage 3 badminton captain and stuff, but that's about it. A lot of skating, extra skating 2 to 3 times a week.
Crumbs.
So in your hockey career, have you had any injuries so far?
I've had a lot of big bruises, like very big bruises, and like sore wrists and stuff, but apart from that, not really, nothing major.
That's good.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different. At least it's only bruises most of the time, which is thankful. No, we don't like seeing people getting too badly hurt. I mean, there's getting a bit of a bump in the boards, and then there's being hurt. I mean, it's never nice. But now, what the heck? You've been with the girls for now training a lot. It's the Crystal Maze question. You know the Crystal Maze is a game show?
No.
Right. You basically you go and do different tasks, and a person goes in to the room and has to do the task, and if they succeed they get a crystal. If they don't, but they get out before the clock runs out, they're fine. But if they do certain things wrong, they can get locked in. And if you want to get them back for the end of the game to collect the tokens to win the big prize, you have to sacrifice a crystal. So you got, from all the girls on the team, who would you sacrifice your crystal for to get back out to go and help you get the big prize?
Probably any of them.
Come on, there's got to be. You've got to give us one.
She's giving the political answer.
Oh no, because you've got to leave one behind.
Oh, I've got to leave one.
Yeah.
Probably sacrifice yourself.
Maybe Sophie, just because it'd be funny.
Oh, sorry, Soph, you've been left behind this time. But who are you gonna make sure you get out? It's a toughie. We can't have Katie because we've already found out that Katie would just bust out the door anyway. Yeah. Because that's Katie Hills for us. Yeah. We love her that much.
Probably like Lean or Emma or Lucy or someone.
Oh,
anyone
there
of them.
You go. Well, but no, I mean, you'd have them all back, of course. Yeah, it's just a bit of fun. So yeah, well, we're looking forward to the getting some more feedback on the Wild Women's Games as the season begins on the 15th of October. And as I say, we hope as many people can come down as possible and support them all, because it is a surprising. I mean, the pace of some of the games can be absolutely fantastic.
I think that it's no disrespect to the men's game. I find the women's game a lot more intricate and skillful, because you haven't got the check-in, and you have to get round someone without knocking them out of the way. You have to think about how you're going to get round them. So it's a total new ball game, but it's played with a book.
So I mean, in terms of stuff, Steve, for you, in terms of your enjoyment of the sport, you know, how's it affected your enjoyment of the sports that you were involved with, sort of by proxy?
I mean, I think it's a brilliant game, because it's not just the skill of being able to control the puck with the stick. It's two sports in one, in effect, because you've got to learn to skate before you can even go on a hockey pitch. And like the atmosphere at Widnes when we watched the home games, it's just brilliant, and you can see how it gives them that buzz, makes the sport enjoyable to play.
Yeah, I mean, even with a small crowd, if they're noisy enough, it can really lift the team. We've seen that time and time again.
Well, we're the noisiest away fans on the league, aren't we?
Definitely were in Bradford.
Yes. I think the score for fans was Widnes 30, Bradford's 10.
And that, yeah, it was. It's not. I mean, it's not so much bragging. It's not like we're bragging there, but no, we want to make sure people come to watch games. It doesn't matter whether we're at home or away. It's always good to have a good crowd. It encourages the away fans. I mean, places like Blackburn and Altrincham last year, their crowds really started picking up, especially when Widnes came.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, it's a case of, hang on a minute, we're not going to be outnumbered.
Yeah, so we're going to shout as loud as you are.
No, we're going to shout louder than them.
No, we always shout louder,
so yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I mean, the women's game doesn't have as many fixtures in as the men's, so you know, and some of them are quite long breaks, if I've read the fixture list, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got like 4 or 5 games in February, and then one in March, and then nothing till May. Yeah. It's all very clumped.
So
it's not training then.
One of those things you've got to keep disciplined. Well, just looking at the clock, and we're almost out of time for another week. So I'd like to thank our guests for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering, being really informative, and keeping us up to speed on what's happening. Doug?
Yes, mate.
We have another busy weekend coming up, don't we?
We do. That's home and away.
Yeah, so hopefully the guys will be fully fit and rested.
Yeah, the Senators game's going to be very interesting.
It will be. It definitely will be.
They'll be up for pay you back after last season's playoff.
And the game in.
And they want to obviously try and top the table. And we want to continue with our winning streak.
Yeah, so keep an eye on Time to Go Wild as well, and all the Twitter and Facebook feeds. But it's time to be signing off. We're going to finish off with a little bit of Avicii and Levels to play us out. But I'll be back tomorrow night from 10 with my usual musical madness and mayhem with the Box of Delights. I'll be back next week on Monday with Doug.
Yep, we will.
For more from Time to Go Wild Radio. So